What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. I'm your host, James Clifton, and I've got my good friend here, Gary Bennett, to talk to you about all things Aston Villa for probably about the next half an hour or so. We're going to be talking about that Garnacho goodbye tweet. Tweet, not X post, I think nowadays, isn't it? But or was it Instagram? I can't remember. One of the social media channels. This has gone well. We'll be talking
about the World Wide Web.
We will be talking briefly about that, and then obviously we'll talk about the game against the Indonesia All Star 11 Soccer game that happened the other day. If you are new here, please do hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well, because yes, we will be talking about various topics during this because the organic conversation tends to kind of wander around. But Gary, how are you doing anyway, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm feeling a little bit worse for wear, so don't shout, right? Because I went out for my brother's 50th birthday on Saturday, so I didn't actually see the game live. And let's just say I woke up on my living room floor at 5 a.m. Right?
Terrible, mate.
So no more now. That's it. Another 6-month break. Christmas will be the next kind of celebration.
Can't wait for your 50th, mate. That's going to be brutal when that comes along. Anyway,
we'll be sure to document it live on this channel by then, mate. There's like 2.5 years to go for that, but it could happen.
Yeah, we'll have like 20,000 subs as well to broadcast it live to by that point. Sure,
mate. We'll 100% live stream my 50th birthday. It'll be awesome.
Right. Anyway, so this is the post that has been doing the rounds, and people have been talking about and reading into, and all this kind of stuff, and everyone's been discussing Garnacho. But the thing is like this is the obligatory. This is the obligatory post-move post for anyone that's been kind of like left in the cold or on the bench or is trying to revive their career or whatever it is. It's like first start after 3 months, happy to be enjoying football again. And then everyone goes, oh, so he wasn't enjoying football at Chelsea and Emery has reinvigorated him and all these things. Look, of course he wasn't. I mean, probably he's just happy to be playing football again. But also because there's been first start after 3 months and it's like, well, the season ended 3 months ago. So that kind of makes sense, doesn't it, really?
He wasn't part of the World Cup, though, was he? Because, let's face it,
he wasn't.
Argentina's squad.
What are your thoughts on it, Gary? Because, I mean, I watched bits of the game. I watched the highlights and stuff. And, like, yes, he is rusty. He's obviously rusty. He hasn't played very much football for, like, the last year, I think. He's lacking confidence. So he's going to try and build that back up. I actually was encouraged by some of the, like, kind of the runs he was making in behind. I felt like he was actually on the shoulder of the defence quite a lot, which we haven't really had from a winger in recent times. It's not really the way we play. So I was quite encouraged by that. But yes, he was rusty, but to me, that was expected.
Yeah, mate. Well, look, first the post. Like, I get it, but this is part of the problem. When I called him a knob on the last episode, right, is that, mate, stop posting stuff like that on social media and just focus on the football. Do your talking on the pitch, because unfortunately the highlights that I watched, right, and the highlight reels that are all over social media do not do him any favors, and he is being absolutely hounded on TikTok, for what a waste of money. Grad is gone, like, he's just not worth the hype. He's, again, more mouth than he is product. So he's like, just stop putting out tweets, mate. I understand you're part of the social media world, but until you are smashing it for Villa, right, then put it in and go, I'm finally enjoying my football and here's my numbers to back it up, right? Because at the moment, it's just another idiot footballer that's going, fuck you, Chelsea. I'm at a club now. Like, I can't wait for, mate, just do the grind. What's wrong with these people? Just do the grind, work hard, play well, and then we can all go, you've proved everybody wrong. So I'm still kind of sitting on the fence, because that highlight reel that I watched, mate, he'd give the ball away 4 or 5 times. There was a moment where he got to the byline. There was 2 clear passes in the middle, and he pulled it back to nobody and lost the ball. And you go, mate, okay, so now we're just we've got what Luca Dean 2.0, where you've got no end product again, and you're in a friendly against you pointed out to me, the International Superstar Soccer All Stars, right? So yeah, look, I've sat on the fence with the Garnacho thing, and I said this before, like 50-50, it's going to go one or two ways. But yeah, mate, just put down on social media. Let us Muppets do that because we've got nothing better to do. Right,
it's hard.
You kind of focus on working hard and getting to the level.
It's hard because it's the world we live in, right? So players are going to be on there and stuff, and especially like the younger players, like he's only 22 or whatever. But the thing that always worries me with that is that he obviously looks at it and he obviously reads it and stuff, and he looks at things. And before he's even, yes, he's kicked a ball, but before he's even really got going, now you just got Villa fans just jump. It's like this lad obviously needs confidence. Like obviously, because to be honest, there's a lot of outlets or a lot of things that I've read from like people who they're maybe more kind of objective Man U or Chelsea kind of like fans and stuff, and they're like, there's a really good player there, and he's very close to actually being like really good.
Yeah,
but it's all in here, isn't it? We always say it's all in there, and the thing is when you're sitting there and if you're just like anything you do. Or the slightest thing you do is just getting absolutely slaughtered, not just by your previous team, but by the new fans. And it's like, guys, just give him a break. Just give him a break.
But that's his problem, right? He's now got three sets of fans on him. He's got United fans, Chelsea fans,
and it's going to be highlighted as well because it's a big, of course it is. Everyone knows he's got potential, and there's a big move here.
But he's not helping himself by giving it all that. Like if you go prior to us with I get it, right? I've got no problem with footballers posting on social media and doing what they want to do or reading it, but you've got to back it up. It's as simple as that. You can't stand out there and slate the fans off, and when you don't produce the magic on the pitch, because that's ultimately what you're going to be judged on, right? So now, instead of Villa fans, like you say, kind of actually let's get behind him, which I'm sure the majority of us will, and when we see him play, I've no doubt about that. But like this is the dubious thing I've always been worried about, that he's doing himself no favours. You've got to just knuckle down and get down with it and produce on the pitch. And if he does that, then he can be on social media all he wants, saying whatever he wants about Chelsea and Man United, because he's going, well, look, actually, I'm doing it. And I'm sure Unai Emery will help him and get him to mature about that, because like he's still so very young at 22. But the other thing that filters in through this is that the noise from other dressing rooms, right? Is he going to be disruptive? Because we've got other young lads now coming through. Clearly, that's our plan this season, right? They're going to, and you want them focused. And I think just, I don't know, as an example, right? Not as a direct comparison, but young Brian Maggio, for instance, all I'm seeing on his social media is him training, like smashing balls into the top corner and working hard, and so you can control the narrative a little bit. They will have social media people doing that. Yet for Garnacho, it's just, I'm having a dig at my former club. Like, mate, no.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. But obviously, only time will tell with that. And obviously, he's got a few games still to go before the season starts. And he is kind of, I saw Ben did a kind of a Aston Villa team like overview and looked at like where we're weak and stuff. That left, he's kind of him and like potentially Hemmings are only our like real left-sided options here. So he does need to. Well, it's going to be do the graft.
Our left side's going to be Maatsen and Garnacho, right? Now, I like Maatsen. I think there's always potential there, but we know he's not the complete player, which is why Digne often fulfilled that role. With the loss of Rodgers, if Garnacho is going to get minutes, it's that. And to be fair to Garnacho, I think even Chelsea fans would probably give him the benefit of the doubt that when he played, actually, he worked relatively hard for the team, right? So, again, I'll just come back to the point of, okay, mate, let's see that. Let's see you just absolutely knuckle down, work hard, make that left side your road. Because like you said at the start, we haven't had a player really that's gone and attacked fullbacks and got to the outside and had quality in the final third, right?
Rashford was the only one.
Rashford was the only one. Digne did deliver some decent crosses, but was far too inconsistent, in my opinion. I'm sure there'll be lots of other people that disagree with that, right? But yeah, as a positive for him, you could argue he's the kind of player that our left side's been crying out for the last 3 or 4 seasons, right? So and actually the rest of that game on Saturday, it was good to see Alisson, by the way. Like, mate, again, I can't believe how much he moves like Morgan Rogers. Again, I was like, well, Rogers is back. No, it's Alisson.
He didn't get injured.
Didn't get injured and got half an assist, I think, maybe, for Brian Maggio's goal. He played it into Lynch, who squared it to him. So, you know, you could potentially there, you've got 2 young attacking wingers, right, which, again, right, the Premier League aren't going to be ready for, because that's not the way we've played. Right, we've played in a very set way, right? We all know how Unai Emery likes to play, right? And it's been our wingers have been players that have come in off the wing and cut inside. Rodgers did it really well. Obviously, when McGinn played there, he was not a winger. He would cut in and fill in the middle, right? So it's always, and it was Tielemans playing through the lines to create chances to get to Rodgers and rely on Rodgers and Watkins to score the goals. Now it's completely different. It's going to have to be completely different. And I'm excited by that, because if it comes off, we are talking levels of 23-24 where we had Rodgers, Bailey, Diaby attacking from both sides. Pace, right? And Bailey actually beating players and going out on the side, like, was brilliant, and it worked. So, yeah, like, it's down to Garnacho. Like I said to him, 50-50. I'll judge him on the first 10 games, mate. But if he's still posting Instagram posts about, like, I'm enjoying my football, mate. Like, well, we're not enjoying it, mate, because you haven't scored any goals and you haven't got any assists. I'll be fucking fuming. So let's just hope that he proves us all wrong. But he's, like I say, just keep that stum, get out there. You've got pre-season now, to a few games in pre-season, the Super Cup to kind of, play against whoever PSG put out will be our most challenging game of pre-season, right? And similar to Bayern Munich, those are 2 really nice tests, I think, to give players minutes. And if we're talking about the youngsters, Garnacho, Alisson, and young Brian Maggio, then, it gives them an opportunity to see them against arguably some of the best talent in European football.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to Brian Maggio once again. And now, look, we're allowed to get excited about this lad. Like, people keep on saying in the comments, "Oh, don't jump on it. We can't get too excited about him. He's only young." And like you said before, when we were talking offline, and you were saying like Max Dalman, it's like people.
Well, the narrative's very different, right?
Yeah, everyone's gone absolutely mad for him, and obviously he's done it in a different scenario, and he's done it in more competitive matches or whatever. But like, this lad is 17. He can't even really play for us yet. He's played up against League 2 defenders who, like you said, will rough you up. They will, like, as a kid, they'll be like all over you. And he has literally just brushed them aside. Then Porto, no walkover, and he's literally just battering around through the defense. Sociedad as well did it again this game against the Indonesia 11. He's a great finish, by the way. His goal was lovely. Really, really good finish. But you were saying again, he picked it up on the left-hand side. He just runs.
Mate, but he went back. I watched 4 players try and take the ball off him, and he went this way, then back that way, back this way, and back that way. And he just stood his ground, and they couldn't get around him. They couldn't get through him. And I just thought, okay, right. I'm getting excited because I've seen enough in his pre-season training videos, in the games that he's played, to say that this kid has got all the ingredients to do something in the Premier League, right? Now, he's got to be given the opportunity. Now, this stupid thing we're waiting for, right, is driving me nuts. How can it take over a month to come to a decision about whether he can play or not, right? He either can or he can't. Right, the rule is either he's done this so he can't, end of, right, or he hasn't played competitively for Luxembourg, right, and he's English, therefore he can play, right, and it's not an international transfer. I don't understand how this takes a month to sort out, and the longer it goes on, the more I'm told to think we ain't getting until January, which is going to be a damn shame. So I would start playing him in all the pre-season friendlies from the start and giving him all the minutes to go, actually, you're not going to be able to play till January, so let's literally put the fear of the good Lord into everybody and say, this kid's coming, and he's coming in January, and it could be the shake-up that we need, right? And it gives that competition to Ollie Watkins to look over his shoulder to go, actually, this kid's going to be coming for my place because he's an absolute animal. And if I was Ollie, I'd be worried because he does all the things that I criticised Ollie for last season. And it just shows how easy it is when you're, young and fit, right? The movement, the strength, the one touch out your feet finished, stuff that Ollie hasn't done really since 23, 24. I know he finished the season strongly last year, but like this is, if Ollie stays and doesn't go anywhere, it's the season to prove me and all the other doubters, not haters, doubters wrong, right? That you are good enough to play in the Premier League, in your 31st year, because people know Ollie Watkins, but they'll be looking at Brian Maggio. Surely I would be going, who is this kid? Because 4 goals in pre-season, like you say, he's manhandling people. It's not just that he's holding people off. He's literally like grabbing grown men. A 17-year-old are literally grabbing grown men and going, nah.
See you in a bit, mate.
Yeah, nah. Just ripping trees up, mate. Look, and there's a long way to go. He is a young lad, and I think we've got to nurture him right. And it might be a good thing that he doesn't come in till January to get him in, because I assume he can still train with the first teams and all that kind of stuff. So you get him in, you get him playing for the under-23s, whatever it is, like keeping him fit, keeping him fresh. And then when January hits, when we know fixtures coming thick and fast after the Christmas period, with Champions League coming back in the February and all that kind of stuff, if we can be there and thereabouts, it could just be the secret weapon that we need. Do you know what I mean? That he could light up the Premier League. And I'm getting excited about it. I don't care what anyone else says. I've watched enough of this kid to go, he's not 17. He's definitely more like 39. Right? I look at him and go, he doesn't know. He hasn't even got a young
How are you
face.
17? Let me see your birth certificate. Let me.
Yeah.
I need to understand.
I think maybe that's what the delay is, mate. They go going, this kid.
Well, if there's a delay, no, but if that's the case, then he's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
If he's over, maybe Villa need to go, oh, sorry, no, he's actually 23.
He's actually 23, yeah.
Yeah, it's all. I was just reading just to clarify if there was any update on it. There's been no update on it.
No.
It's all to do with it's all to do with Article 19 from Brexit and stuff, which is where not part of the EU, whatever, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, mate, it's simply because of that, because you can't have freedom of movement. For anyone that's under 18, and he was born in England, but
another reason you only hate David Cameron any more than I did when he called that stupid referendum. Right?
Wow, mate, yeah. I mean, let's not make this political, but obviously there's voters involved, not just
no, I understand that. But if he had never been put to the table, mate, Brian Maggio would be just coming along and playing the start of the Premier League. So
potentially. But I think I assume then, if this isn't ironed out before then, I assume he won't be able to play in the Super Cup, because that is a competitive match, unlike the rest of the game. So, but yeah, I'd love to see him against Bayern. I'd love to see him properly go up against some kind of like higher level defenders and see how he performs. So I think it'd be brilliant to see.
Mate, you got to be prepared. He might not stand out against the better opposition. No, but how is he going to get better unless he plays against the better opposition? What I'm saying is he's malleable, and there's no two ways about that. If he sticks to what I've seen, which is just the basics, what I like about him, pure and simple, gets into good positions, holds the ball up brilliantly, and he's just a powerhouse. Like that goal against Sociedad, there's 4 players around him, and he just makes the ball. Do you know what I mean? We've missed that. Like, I don't know, since John Carew. And a real or Benteke, or whatever it is, like a real powerhouse of a centre forward that you thought if a ball's coming to the box or it's in and around the box, he's gonna sniff it out and make something of it. So yeah, fair play to Brian Maggio, because as I said in the comparisons and the narrative's very different to Max Damon. And Max Damon's a superstar and will be a superstar. He's absolute quality. 2 very different players, by the way, right? Mm-hmm. But I think Villa fans should be excited by Brian Maggio. I think he's doing the right things. He's, knuckling down, working hard, and has been since this whole. We've known about this thing because it's been over a year. We've known about this, right? That it could be a problem. And now he's probably, feeling frustrated that he probably feels ready. He's probably going to Unai. Yeah, I'm ready to go. Like, we just need to sort it, right? But in the meantime, I'm just going to show everyone. I'm going to turn up and show you what I'm made of, and that's what he's doing. So, McGinn was talking about him in the interview prior to the game, going like the young lads kind of, they're gonna make us better, more or less was the underlying thing. So, Unai Emery statements, he it was it might have been before the game or after the game. But basically, we're entering a new era, right? And that's exciting. This is what good coaches do, right? They adapt. They get. He's had to because of what our financial situation is. And I just think, again, we talked about it on the previous show, mate, about overachieving. I think we're going to do it again. I mean, with under Unai Emery, I truly believe that he's just going to go. That without all the haters, these players will turn up and show how invaluable it is to have someone like Unai Emery at the helm, right? And that's all it is, because when you take away all the smoke and mirrors of what the Premier League is and all the money and all that, like, football's a very simple game. And if you get players that understand the philosophy and a coach that understands tactically and how it works, then you can achieve magnificent things, right? It's like when Leicester won the league. It's like what we've done for the last 4 seasons. Like, I think it's exciting times at the Villa, and it might be a bit of a like this, but yeah, I can't wait. Just let's just get to that Brighton game, man. Come on, Villa.
I think it's going to be an interesting season. I think it is one of those kind of like almost a bit of a make or break kind of season in terms of we're rolling the dice. There's been a lot of change that's happening this season, but I was just trying to find it. Stato, I think, posted something recently. I think it was someone that he had at Villarreal, potentially, or Sevilla. And he was talking about the fact that he's like, the video sessions, the non-stop like attention to detail that Emery has is exhausting.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who the player was. I think it was Vicario. I can't remember who it was. Basically said, like, after 3 years, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. And this is like part of the thing around with the players, in that they said that when he came in, those players who have been there long stayers, they may be more invested over that period because they saw the difference that was that happened, right?
Yeah.
And so then they've stuck with it and they're motivated to keep doing it season after season. But then there's players who maybe came in 2 years ago or 3 years ago where they're like I'm done with it. Like, as in we've hit this. They came in when we're at this level and they continue to hit this level, and they're just like, I can't keep up with this anymore. I'm done. I'm done with it. And so that's why Emery has tended to have this kind of like refresh every 2 or 3 seasons of players, because players just can't keep doing it. They can't keep going. And so they come in and they're hungry and they want to learn and they want to do stuff, and they learn all these things and they're doing all these massive video sessions. It's all new to them and they're still like kind of motivated. So it's just interesting whether these players can do that. I suppose that's the point, is that we're still trying to keep that main kind of spine of the team. And there's obviously the constant stuff, which we might get onto in a sec as well. But if we can keep some of those key players, the McGinn, your Emi Martinez, your Ezri Konsa, your Pau Torres, your Emi Buendia, even your Watkins up front, those kind of players who know what it's like to be with Emery, and then bring these other players in who are fresh and hungry and they push us forward, then that will make sense. But yeah, I have no idea how it's going to go, mate. It's a proper lottery at the minute. We haven't seen enough really to know.
This is the only grimace at the moment with pre-season that we don't know who's going to be leaving and who's going to be staying still, and we probably won't know that for another couple of weeks. I would have thought that by the time the Super Cup comes around in 12 days' time, we might have a bit more of a clear of who's going to be here. Because it'll be interesting for, even like going back to you mentioned the spine there, but one player that I wanted to mention was Ross Barkley, because scored another good goal on Saturday, and we know how much Emery thinks of him, and has probably called him arguably our best technical player. Now, obviously, he spent big chunks of last season out for personal reasons or injury, whatever it was. And it'll be interesting to see if he stays, because ultimately he's Tielemans' probably natural replacement, right?
Yeah.
Thinking about driving the ball forward and stuff. And is he going to be the one that's going to feature? Or is he going to be sold? Because there's been various rumours about either that he might be going to Coventry, and obviously,
but I think that's all I think that's all died down a bit now. I do wonder whether the Tielemans deal has actually made us rethink it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, maybe. But so he could have a significant part to play. And look, I think it's fair to say at the at the end of last season, he had some good performances. He did. I thought he did really well. Right.
Yeah,
and so, really helpful. So let's see where that pans out. Like, so with that core, with the addition of these new young players, Garnacho, Alisson, potentially Maggio whenever that is, Kamara coming back from injury, massive season for him. Looks like Evan Gasson's going to be around by the looks of things. I just think,
I don't know whether that's through to us wanting him to be, or simply the fact that no one wants him and we have to. I mean, just on that, actually, I was just looking for any new news, and I mean, Birmingham Mail reported this morning, not on Gasson, but basically saying that like we kind of expected, the Leon Bailey deal has hit. It's just stalled. It does look like either that's not going to happen. Don't know if it's to do with salary or our demand for what we want for the player. But
yeah, I read yesterday.
Can't have another season where Bailey's just. I mean, he hasn't even travelled with the squad, so
no. Yeah, look. Everyone knows my feelings on Bailey. He should have gone 2 seasons ago. But I read yesterday that Hull were like struggling for the salary part of it, and would potentially ask us about something like, could we go 30% less honest? And we're like, no, we can't, and we can't afford to do that. So our business has got to be shrewd, right? So it's just, I mean, that'll be dead wood hanging around for me, both of them anyway, Gesson and Bailey. And if that's going to hinder the development of Alisson, I'd rather be seeing Alisson starting games. But we know that Emery is going to probably choose a little bit of experience over youth. So,
this has been part of our problem.
30 million for Gesson last season, mate.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money.
This is part of our problem. People keep on going whenever it's all the Spurs fans and all this stuff, and whenever we've gone on going like it's just unfair, or the kind of financial things. The main thing they always go to is it's wages, blah blah blah. I'm like, look, wages don't make up everything, but there is 100% been these high earning kind of deadwood players that we just cannot shift. And part of that is just because they're either not performing, they're on too high a salary, other teams won't take them on. I think a couple of times now, Bailey's been like, potentially on the verge of a move, like the Roma deal. And then obviously that gets cut short because we have to try and bring him back because we've ran out of players. And it's just a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. And you're ending up with these players, and like that 12 million, if that, like you said, if that hinges on us getting someone else into another part of the team, or whether that's what we're looking for to try and get Estepania in the left back position, that's just frustrating because he's not good. I don't want him to play. He shouldn't play. I don't think he should put that shirt on again.
I agree. Mate, I 100% agree. It's beginning to really grind on my gears down, if I'm honest, because the longer it goes on, the more I'm worried that he's going to be here for the start of the season. And like you say, and the annoying thing is, he holds the cards because he's got a year left on his contract. So if an offer's coming in, like, we might accept it, right? But he might go, I'm not taking that kind of a pay cut.
Well, the thing is also he knows that if he goes on a free, you get you get sign off fee, and you get a higher salary sometimes as well. So
exactly, mate. So he can go, no, I'll sit on the bench for a year, take my salary, and then I'll leave on a free next summer.
He's content, doesn't he? Doesn't seem that bothered about the fact that he's not playing. So yeah, we will have to see. But yeah, obviously that's the Bailey deal. Talking about Maggio, talked about Garnacho. Konsa, we've obviously heard rumours over the past however long that Arsenal are interested in him, and we've put like a £65 million price tag on him. There's a random post doing the rounds on
Athletics News reckon it's been submitted.
Nah, load of rubbish. I don't. I mean, even if it does come through and that big comes in, I just can't. I can't see us doing it right now. Like that seems
cutting off our nose to spot our face, mate. We're chopping our faces if we do that. Right?
I can't see it.
I'm not saying that that's not an impossible thing to happen for Konsa to move, but surely not now. Like January maybe, but next summer probably. But yeah, we can't afford it. Like you, our best performing centre back. We can't afford to go out and buy another one. So for me, I think it's that magic of Unai that has to say to Konsa, look, similar to what you did with Martinez or whatever, and you see if you can convince him to stay, right? And you go, look, the journey hasn't changed. Like, this is what we're trying to do. You know what it is, right? It will probably be down to money. We've got to try and offer an improved contract. This is what I'm saying. You get rid of the likes of Bailey. I'd rather be his wages going to Konza for what he's put in for the last 3 seasons, mate. And look, because Konza's right, and for what he's doing, like, he's probably one of the lowest, and I think he's only on 75k a week. He should be on 150k a week. He's been sensational. Yeah. Like, he's earned that in terms of that, like, of what a centre half deserves for the numbers he's put up in the last 3 seasons. So we should be working like as hard as we possibly can to make sure that happens for him, and so he can go, okay, I'll give you another season. Do you know what I mean? And so the likes of Bailey and all the other deadwood have got to go to help even just finance that revolution. Forget about bringing in new players. I know we need right backs and all that kind of stuff, but you've got to keep that core, because without them, we will struggle. Like, so,
yeah. I suppose the worry always is that he's contracted till 2028. So obviously after this season, he starts to enter into the final year of his contract, which is never where you want to be. And the issue is that if a bid does come in and you're kind of sitting there and you're going, well, 65 million now, or he could go on a free or for a really cut price deal of what, like 20 million or something next season. Yeah, it's really, I can understand why people are worried and why the club will be worried. But yeah, I think if he, it all depends on how much. So people talk about loyalty in football, right? And you've got players that have done it, like Jack Grealish and stuff. He knew he was going to be going, but he signed a new deal.
Yeah,
and he had a clause in there because he was like, I don't want the club to not get anything from me. Same with potentially even with Rodgers. Like, he signed a 5-year deal or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like that meant we were in a massive bargaining position to be able to do that with anyone. You'd like to think someone like Esri would do that, but we don't know. We don't know the guy personally. We have no idea what.
No, of course not. And that would be the best outcome for us, right? That's what we'd want. And it's whether we can do that in time before that offer comes in. Because ultimately, again, he holds all the cards, because if he says he wants to leave and the offer comes in, and we can't turn £65 million down. It's a good price for every Konza. So, like I say, it comes down to the player, right? And hopefully, like, I don't know. You run the risk, don't you? Because if he was to go to Arsenal, once Saliba comes back and like, is he going to be first choice? And like, but Arsenal,
it's all hypothetical. It's all hypothetical.
I just don't. What I don't like about it is that it's all kind of it's the lack of control that as a club that we've got around it. Like, I feel like we can get held over a barrel, and because of this financial stupidity stuff, that we, instead of being able just to go, actually, we can just offer him 250 grand a week. We've got to sell 3 players before we can offer him a pay increase. Whereas we should be going, right, sort his contract out, get him extended. Do you know what I mean? And our negotiation skills at the moment are limited. So we can go with a proposal and he can go, well, no, because Arsenal are going to offer me 250k a week.
This is the thing. You're the finances we're allowed to use don't match up with the finance we actually have and the performance we're doing on the pitch. We're just completely hampered. So yes, I mean, we'll obviously see, but like we've said, we're going to have to overachieve again this season. If we do, though, yes, we might be able to actually finally start to not talk about this stupid SDR nonsense.
Imagine.
Oh my God, what would we talk about? We don't have anything to talk about. We just have to talk about football. Oh my God. Anyway, brilliant. That is probably all we've got time for here. Obviously, like we said, if you are new here, if you made it 34 minutes in this video and you haven't subscribed, what's wrong with you? So hit that button. Turn those post notifications on. It's a Monday. Do all that hype stuff. Let us know down in the comments. Are we overreacting to Brian Maggio? Do you think he could be something for us this season if he gets to play? What do you think about Leon Bailey still here? What do you think about the Esri Konsa move? What do you think about Garnacho? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. But we will be back on Thursday. That's usually our day. So Mondays and Thursdays in this preseason, we'll be talking about the reaction, obviously, to the BG Packham game. And
our soccer too.
Yes. Any more thoughts from you guys?
That's it, mate. Just tune into the game tomorrow. I was hoping to do live for for the games. But basically, I'm refused to pay £15 for the pass, mate. I'm not doing it. After paying for my season ticket, that should be included.
It was 30 quid.
Well, you get it 50% off if you're a season ticket holder, so it's 15 quid.
I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, if I can get a stream from somewhere, I may watch it. But yeah, tune in for that. We'll be back Thursday. We can pick it apart. Hopefully, some more minutes for Maggio and co. I hope so, because I am excited about him. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play again. And yeah, we're getting closer, mate. That Super Cup's coming a couple of weeks away now, and
yeah, look forward to that.
We'll be here for that Brighton game before we know it, and then that wonderful first home game against Arsenal, which is going to be
under the lights, mate, on a Monday night.
I know. Exciting times. Right, so stay tuned, people. Do all what James said. Hit like and subscribe. We'll see you on Thursday. And as always, every week we follow the boys in claret and blue. Peace.
See ya.